Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. We got to count Rizzy and Kids. Today, we want to talk about none other than the first three episodes of Andor Season 2. All spoilers, got to talk about a thing to talk about a thing. And I feel like I can officially say that we are back. I mean, these first three episodes really brought us back to me, in my opinion, what Star Wars is really about. It's about a war. And I know we're not at the actual war part yet for the rebellion, but it is very interesting to see how all of these smaller factions will converge and coalesce into what we known as the rebellion. And it's been really good just to watch how Andor has to struggle with a lot of different things and to stay focused, as well as try to push ahead or further the efforts of the rebellion. Because there's like four storylines in this movie. Three of them really go to, I'm sorry. See, and that's another thing. This felt like a movie, y'all. Like, the quality on the show right now, it's pretty good. I mean, I love the first season. Only episodes I really didn't care for was like 4 and 5. I really felt like they was trying to milk that whole Aldani thing, but the conclusion was great, so I forgive it. But these first three episodes are really fantastic. They definitely felt like a movie. It looked like a movie. Wish I could have seen this on the big screen. But the first three storylines are going to be Andor's mission. We have the Mothma wedding, and also Mineral, where Bix Brasso, Will, and B2 Emo are. Of course, it's the Outer Rim. Nothing good happens out there, so you know they in trouble, automatic. As well as Dedra's complicated life. So I'm going to talk about the first three kind of intertwined together. So Andor start off, he's trying to get a TIE fighter from Sinar, and there's a person who was helping him, another informant, I guess, and she's nervous. He gives her this amazing speech about how, bam, you being activated now, like you're going to feel better after this, knowing that you helped bring down the Empire, because she was having second thoughts about, just the ramifications of what's happening. Because even though she infiltrated the place, she said, look, man, I've been kind of having fun here. I kind of, I have a little friend group or whatever going on, and like it feels kind of weird. It's going to be different after this. So the most realistic thing about this part is the fact that Andor doesn't know how to fly the TIE fighter. And he is really making a mess of it. It's not even played for gags. It's just played for like real. It's like, yo, like you don't know what you're doing. And even when he gets to where he needs to go, when he finally gets in touch with Luthen's people, he's like, man, I got the wrong TIE fighter. Like, I didn't know how to fly this thing. But yeah. But the fact that we have him trying to get out of there, amazing scene of him actually leaving and learning how to getting his sea legs under him with the TIE fighter, and then dipping out, and then he ends up going to what we later find out to be Tantive 4. We think it's some random planet, but no, it's a moon. And that part of the show, I know I've seen some people kind of push back against, because we have a group of goofy rebels, and it takes about a good 2 episodes for him to realize not even realize what's going on, but like supposed to be rendezvousing with somebody else who's going to take this TIE fighter, and he was gonna head back home to Mineral with Bix and them, but he got sidelined. And it just shows you how fractured and how disparate the rebellion was. Luthen, on purpose, had everybody not knowing what the other person was doing. So everybody was playing a role, playing a part, and that's how Luthen had it set up. So like we already know, like it's not till Battle of Scarif, Mon Mothma letting everybody know back in Rebels, like, hey, I'm Mon Mothma, and we need to come together. Like, not until those moments that the actual rebellion started to actually form and coalesce. But Andor having to deal with the incompetence of all these people, because he was outnumbered by like 16-1. They ended up breaking down in two different factions because they couldn't get along enough to actually get on the TIE fighter and get out of here. They was having issues like, hey, we can't fly it. He can fly it. Let's take the pilot and let's go. And that whole conflict just shows me that no matter if you have a cause, you still need to have very clear things. And one is a clear direction. Even if you don't have a clear leader, you have to have clear directives. And even they were mentioned, I forgot the name of the group, but they were mentioned back in season 1 with Saul Guerrero mentioned them. And he was like, huh, them? Even he didn't take them serious. So Tony Gilroy did a good job of calling back a lot of the things that we saw back in season 1. At the same time, Luthen and his whole crew is at the wedding. So Mom Mothma, the daughter that hates her, and her, gambling husband. And she's trying to go along and get along. Daughter still ain't feeling her. She's trying to say, like, look, man, if you want to get out of it, you can. She was like, look, man, my mom was drunk at the wedding. Her daughter said, hey, I wish she was drunk. And as a parent, that kind of hurt. So that whole storyline really is focusing around Mothma and Tacoma. Tacoma is her cousin. I even have right here in my notes, I said, Tacoma is a hoe. He comes there, all woe is me, all sad and downtrodden, just bringing the vibes of the wedding down. And he tells her, look, man, like, hey, stuff been going on. It's been a rough couple weeks for me. I'm broke, basically. My wife left me, and I'm having a hard time. I'm down on money. So she's like, oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. And he's like, hey, if you can't really give me no help, no aid, because I know you got money, cuzzo, I'm just going to rat you out to the people, because we already knew they were essentially laundering money through the foundation that they had set up on Chandrilla. And he was trying to shake her down because, he was broke. On the side, Luthen figures out what's going on, talks to her. He's like, look, man, ask him, does he have a number? So we can kind of lock down. We can help him out because we can keep him quiet. Because, Luthen like, hey, I still need these funds flowing because it's the rebellion. Luthen then is trying to get in touch with Andor. Andor, of course, ain't answering because he can't. And also, where they are on Chandrilla, it's hard to get a signal out without somebody recognizing the signal. So his assistant, the lady that worked with him back at the antiquity shop, she is listening as best she can. She ends up leaving, going off planet episode 2 because she's like, hey, man, I can't do nothing here. So she leaves and finally ends up getting in touch with Andor. Andor is he gets off the planet eventually. He gets off the planet because they're so stupid. They start fighting each other through this sort of like the whole episode 2 is them going back and forth inch by inch. And then at the end, again, the incompetence of these people. So they say, hey, like, we're going to have like this, basically like, we're going to have some sort of like battle to figure out who's going to be the victor. And in the audience, we thinking like they're about to have like some sort of like fisticuffs or some sort of duel or match or something. You know what I'm saying? A Royal Rumble. I don't know. They end up playing Star Wars Rochambeau. And as they're playing this, of course, a Star Wars beast pulls up. We saw like little like hints of it earlier. Like somebody had a whole, just a leg, a foot, matter of fact, a boot in the foot, and that was it. They was looking for their people. So the beast rolls up, swoops a couple of them up, and they freak out, grab their guns, shooting everywhere. Andor sees the commotion, kills the person that's holding him hostage, and dips out of there. So when he gets into orbit and heads towards Minara, essentially, and he gets the message from Luthen's assistant, and it's like, yeah, I got the ship, man. y'all can tell me how to fly this thing. And she's like, hey man, like you're not speaking no codes or nothing. Like, by this point, Andor's pissed. And she's like, hold on, let me get to another channel. And she's like, look, I got the TIE fighter. I don't know how to fly for real. I've been upside down for 2 days. And she's like, look, trying to go back home. She was like, yeah, you really can't go there right now. He's like, why? Because the Empire's there. So he hightails it out of there. On Minorah, the Empire, like I said, the Empire shows up. And a couple of things happen. When they're doing an audit of the people who are there, so they're doing like a little BS census. What they've been checking for is essentially illegal aliens. And if that isn't a perfect segue into real life, I don't know what is. So the Empire is doing their audit for wheat because they need grain or whatever. You know, the Empire's an empire. This is one of the planets that have to work with them. And there are like just a couple of convoys of Imperials, and Bix chilling at home by herself, just, getting ready for the day or whatever. And this officer just walks up on her by himself. Creepy as I don't know what. And he's like, hey, how you doing? He's trying to come on to her. And she was like, man, my husband is off planet, man. He'll be back in a few days, bro. You got to cool out. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, I respect that. And then, Brasser finally comes back, and then he dips. More on that a little bit later. And the entire time, Bix, Brasser, and Will are trying to find a way to evade the Empire because, they ain't supposed to be there. So they come up with a plan. One of the townspeople said, hey, I'm going to give you some papers. You can go to another quadrant. Basically, they're like quadrants of like 100. So y'all can go to the 800 and then, swing back around when they leave, when they leave the 500 block. So this doesn't really work because when they come much earlier than they thought. And nobody's home. Bix is there by herself. Will met a girl on, he's like maybe like 17, 18. Met a girl on planet, and he's like trying to say his goodbyes because he don't know when he's coming back or not. And then Brasso ends up realizing that like he's gone. So he tries to like, boom, head out to go back and get him. And his speeder is like at this little shop where two of the people that we saw earlier, like they work at or whatever. And he's in there trying to play stuff off, and they realize that there's a speeder outside. So they go look for the speeder. He tries to make a diversion. They catch him. And it looks like the person who's there that was trying to help them the entire time, it looks like it kind of looks like he double crossed them. But to me, it looks like Bix didn't want to rat him out too. So he tried to act like he was going at him, but in reality, he kind of gave him like, the little, the head nod or whatever after the facts when the Empire caught him. So Brasso ends up wrestling like, oh yeah. Andor realizes what's going on. Hyperspace, gets to the planet. He sees the Imperial ship. He's like, F it. Nosedives into the planet's orbit, back down to the surface, sees what's going on, starts shooting at them. And then we have Brasso running away, and they shooting at him on the speeder. Ends up falling off the speeder and everything. Andor shoots all of them, kills all of them basically. Gets down on the ground, sees Brasso's dead. Bix back at the house, the same Imperial comes back. This dude is really trying to essay Bix. And the crazy part is him and this other dude, they just chilling outside. He's chilling outside. And dude just hears a bunch of random noises and stuff because, like, Bix is beating the brakes off of this man. And, like, his partner didn't even come in there until the Imperial officer was stumbling out. He falls off the steps, hits his head on like, I don't know, like a bin or something, and then boom, dead. And then dude was like, yo, what's going on? And Andor and them end up coming up and getting her. And she's like, yo, where's Brasso? And as always, we gotta go now. Boom, they're out. That storyline for me definitely it definitely held up, and it was good. Like the pace of that was like, it was real snappy. I can understand why some people didn't like episode 2 when it comes to Andor and being on the on Tansa 4 with the goofy rebels, but to me it still plays a part in the bigger story, because next week we're going to see more competent, more than likely willing and ready and able types of rebels. Here's the crazy part. So Dedra's complicated life, right? So Dedra and her superior officer from last season, dude from Game of Thrones, that was the dude that was making all the stuff for Cersei. Yeah, he's like him, her, and like a group of like maybe like 12 total are somewhere not on Coruscant, and at this remote location with Krennic. Of course, Krennic is from Rogue One, and Krennic's like, look, I picked all y'all to be here. There's something that we really need, and that is an element or a like a material or precious metal named Kilkite, and that is on Gorman. And of course, the Gormans are a very prideful people, real chill. Looks like space. I don't know, space Eastern Europe, like Sweden or something. Like it kind of looks like that. And everybody is basically works towards the economy, and it seems like a very Norwegian type of place. For some reason, he pulls up a tourist video about Gorman, and they're just watching this video about all the things they do. They have these huge spiders that spin this almost like silken material, and that's like one of the major exports, how to get a lot of their money, and everybody works. It's like just a real like harmonious looking place. Trying to say, hey, you want to come here? This is what we do, yada yada. It's real touristy. So Krennic is like, man, we got to get this Kilkite. And we did the the estimations and stuff. He said, look, man, we can get the stuff, but like we can mess around and fracture the planet. So essentially, the planet could be just left like some trash and unuseful anymore. Just like the Empire does. They strip a planet of its resources until it's sucked dry, and then they keep it moving. And this is again the the imperialistic attitude and theme of the actual empire. If you guys cannot see the real life parallels to America, then I'm very confused as to what it is you're watching, because this is America. Like it's the essence of Star Wars. The essence of Star Wars to me is a small group of people fighting against a bigger group of people, because the bigger group of people aren't doing the smaller group of people correctly. I mean, before it was what? Vietnam. The Empire, again, in those first original trilogy, was still America. And in this one, the Empire is dealing with what? Forced control, forced surveillance, sending people away, killing people who aren't down for the cause, stripping places of their resources. That's pretty much America. If you haven't figured that part out, like, I really need you to see the parallel. And the thing about this, they're not being coy about it. They're being very open and heavy-handed. I know you guys don't like politics and your stuff, but politics is in everything that's media. If it's like if there's some sort of conflict in it, more than likely you can find the politics in it regardless. But yeah, so Gorman is going to be attached to one of the greatest tragedies in Star Wars. If you haven't watched Rebels, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the Gorman massacre, where an entire planet of people are killed. Dedra had the best idea because they're trying to figure out ways to get the resource. And they're like, hey, man, how about we just bomb the place? And it was like, man, that's not going to really do a good job. Or how about we have some sort of like, uprising or something. I'm like, man, it's like diminishing returns. Dedra says, look, you need a dedicated insurgency that's going to do the wrong thing. But she already saw that before on Finnick. And also, the fact that she was there lets Krennic know that, look, man, I know you got ideas. She was trying to play all, hard and stoic, and I want to have an answer when I talk. But Krennic already clocked that and said, look, I need your help. You're here for a reason. You could have been back at the house. Because she's looking at this, even when they get back to Coruscant, as a demotion. Her former leader's like, look, this is really a promotion for you. And yeah, like having a corporate retreat about how we're going to decimate a planet so cavalierly and like nonchalantly, and really making plans to destroy a planet is the essence of this. I mean, it's just when you sit back and think about it, it's really wild because all the people are going to die. And we know they're going to get the resource because by the time we get to Rogue One, they're testing the Death Star on Jeddah and on Scarif. So, yeah, when you really think about it like that, it's rough because usually in Star Wars, like if they have like a lot of people dying, it's of no effect because you don't really notice people. They don't really set that part up. It's hard to do that in a movie. But when it comes to like a show, now you could really, we're going to build up to that. So yeah, devastating. The funny part about Dedra's complicated life is that she and Cyril Karn are resident simp. He and her are in a relationship of sorts. And he's trying to avoid having dinner with mom. But Dedra's like, no, we're doing it. And of course, both of these idiots are just like super anal retentive, and they have to make sure everything's perfect and correct because as Empire stuff. Also, Cyril is just nervous. His mom's gonna say do something stupid. Of course she does. She's getting there, and she is just really digging into to Cyril. Cyril gets to the point where he just gets frustrated and lays down on the bed by himself. At that point, Dedra says, "Look, if you want a relationship with your son, you're gonna do these 3 things: respects on his name. You're gonna see him maybe once. I'll make sure he calls you. Do I make myself clear?" Essentially, she told the lady to straighten up a fly, right? And after Cyril came back and sat down, she did. Even told her, "Look, yo, stop talking about your little Uncle Harold, yo, about your bro. His rap sheet is trash." You know what I'm saying? I looked up his eyes, B. I already know. He's struggled too. And we had some backstory about her as well. Like she was her parents were criminals, got locked up, and they put her, I think they called it kinder care. And essentially she was been there ever since she probably, that's the only life she knows is the Empire, which the parallel of the Empire getting kids at youth or at like toddlers basically, and then the Jedi getting them at the same age. For both of these have these these polar opposite, what's what I'm looking for here, doctrinations is it's a good bit of world building for me. But yeah, these couple episodes, all in all, really good episodes. Like I said at the beginning, shot well, music, oh my god, yo, music top notch. My mom forgot white girl wasted at the wedding. They have like a robot DJ that's like a sphere coming there playing the jams for them. The wedding was beautiful, beautiful gowns, and it was really cool. People make toast. Oh yeah. Oh, almost forgot. Luthen is there because he's there with somebody who's on the planet, and they have this relic from the past that was stolen from them. There's like 12 of them. There's like 5 of them still around, and he gifted one of them to them. And basically, he said it was stolen by the Rakatan Empire. If you don't know the Rakatas, they're like the one of like the proto people in Star Wars, and they also mentioned the fact that they're from 25,000 years ago. So to me, this is just another little small hint that, hey, we're going to go back and check out a lot of this stuff. So hopefully we can get the Dawn of the Jedi movie in the next like 5 years or so we can see how hopefully the Rakatans will be in there, or anybody else they want to put in there. You know, Yuzon Vong, I don't care. Like any of those earlier groups that get mentioned and in Legends, but not back in canon yet. So yeah, awesome episodes. Definitely get back with us. If you haven't checked the channel yet, please go back. Sinners, if you haven't seen Sinners yet, like why is you here? Go watch Sinners in the movies this weekend. Watch it in the movies. Sinners review on the channel. Review for Last of Us on the channel as well. Next week, Thunderbolts, as well as May the 4th, we got Tales of the Underworld. Be reviewing that as well. All things will pop up. We let you know. Check us out. Threads, IG, YouTube, of course, Facebook, sometimes. Definitely check us out on our website, theuponfurtherreview.com. That's where we're going to have all the exclusive stuff. We're going to have more in-depth reviews, more, let's just say, free-flowing, not so buttoned down. You can definitely join us there. Create a community. We're trying to create a community of like-minded people who love what we do and also love this pop culture stuff that we cover, y'all. But yeah, until the next time.